can't fight. I know a lot of young, in my school, and this is like funny because I know a lot of young guys. We have young guys teach to run the class. And a lot of times because you're in that setting, you don't believe that a guy like me who don't like martial arts or who came from the street will come in and challenge you. Because you're so protected in your environment. You're so protected that you don't realize that them people, them parents that are coming in, they choosing to respect you. But what about the cat that comes in and say, yeah, so what's up? I can fight. I don't care about your black belt. Because we realize that even black belt is important, but until you go beyond the belt and into the philosophy and the lifestyle, my instructors say black belt is a way of life. It's not just about fighting. It's what you eating, what you thinking, how you feeling, how you treating other people. Once you transcend to that, you'll never have to fight. And you'll be able to bring a person along because I don't believe you have to be combative. But you know how to fight. And the only way you can do that, anybody, a good fighter can sense. Anybody used to, if you go to a tournament, and that's why it's going to be so incredible next year when you get a chance to come to the Capital Classics. And you get a chance, you're around here thinking you really know something, but wait till you watch on that stage and you see, hold up, I've been faking tricking. I've been faking sparring. That's what is it going to do for our students? I want to be like that. I really want to spar. I ain't got to win, but I want to be able to hold my own. That's what martial arts is supposed to be about. And I believe that all those people that come along with it, we're going to make it that way. We're going to bring it back to that core value where we're not going to be saying, oh, and it's funny, and I'll say this in closing, when one of the world's greatest fighters said we don't teach sparring anymore, you don't teach sparring anymore. Just look at yourself in the mirror and say that. How many of us, could we all put on sparring equipment, come out, and let's spar, baby? Let's go, let's work. And I hit you with the best blow, you're like, whoa, let's go. How many people in here, how many people got black belts that can enjoy that moment? Most people don't. You got to enjoy the hit. You got to enjoy the flow. Let's go, baby, let's get busy. That's what martial arts used to be, and that's what it's going back to. Guaranteed.
Yeah, and I think that what's important about that is that there are a lot of folks, I've been with EFC for 34 years, and I watched it go from a fighting deal where everybody rumbled to fighting kind of drives people out of schools. Stretching kind of makes them want to quit. Don't work them too hard. So we go after the schools, we give them belts for good grades, and all of that. All of the stuff we're doing is important. But somewhere along the line, we lost our core. Mm-hmm. And even at the national tournaments, it turned into, and I give a 6A NASCAR tournament. And we even at some point looked at it and said, they're right over there. This is just tag. Guys wearing extra long gloves so they can just tap you and get a point. Or they wear foot gear 2 sizes too big so they can tap you and get a point. And all of a sudden, the guys that were running these things used to be real fighters. And they're saying, well, we got a lot of people out here fighting, but very little fighting is going on. And so we looked over and saw there's folks that are going back then, I don't want to do that. I want to actually fight. And there's a whole generation of folks that came up under point martial arts. And again, I run one of the biggest point open tournaments there is. Point martial arts that never fought, never really hit anybody. And now they're running the school and they're teaching somebody else. And then that guy is teaching somebody, and there's nobody in that lineage that actually has ever been hit upside the head. And I think at a certain point you're starting to see that turn back. Because now my event, we've got grappling, we've got point MMA, we've got extreme fighting. What is that? That's point fighting, but you have to really hit. Billy Blanks hadn't been to a tournament, I think, since he started doing Taibo. He showed up last year, and he was appalled. He said, I don't come to this stuff anymore, because we used to actually hit people. He came to sign autographs. Next thing I know, he was on the stage. He said, oh, no, the extreme point stuff, I'll do that. I said, Billy, don't fight. He said, because back when I came up, you could actually hit. And we came out, and your guys did the point MMA. It said, it is point fighting. But these guys were hitting hard, not knocking out, but you had to hit. And I realized that was the happy medium. They want you to be able to hit. But again, the truth, the attorney who's got to be in court Monday morning, he can't keep going in every day with the big eye. He can't go with the lip. He likes to rumble, but he knows that he can't show up for court, or the doctor can't show up beat up for so often, so he goes into something that's it. But you're looking for that happy medium. And I will tell you that when they did the fight at the Classic last year, it was the highlight of the deal. I mean, it was a little bit banging, but a lot of guys were sitting back going, we got to get rid of the tag. And so I hear them right now, they're trying to change the rules. You got to hit. You can't be doing this touch thing anymore. And I think it's healthy because it says, guys, you're losing a whole generation of folks that are moving away from it. So to me, Point MMA is taking advantage of the brand MMA. It's also talking about points. But basically what you're saying to me is that when we came up, everybody grappled. In the Chinese styles, we called it Sui Jiao. It was Kung Lee and those guys. They used to do the sand show, and you had to do all that. We always grappled. Somewhere along the point, it all got lost. And every time somebody class went to the ground, somebody jumped in and said, break. And if you hit somebody, they went, what's wrong with you? That's dirty fighting. Ain't no dirty fighting in martial arts. At what point did we say you can't? If you hit the ground, you were looking up. So we kind of lost that. If anybody who's been here since the 60s, everybody fought on the ground. Up in New York, he talks about up there. When I fought up there, everybody went there. You could get stomped while you were on the ground, in the throat. I mean, it was always that. With Paul Biggio, those guys, we all fought like that. But somewhere along the line, it got lost, where it turned into just tag. And I think there's got to be that turn back. But you got a whole generation of people who grew up doing nothing but points. Their instructors did nothing but point, but I don't want to call it tag, but they did tag. And their instructors for them did tag. They want to come back and do a more serious martial arts, but they don't want to go all the way over there because I can't do that. Yeah, I've never really been hit. And I think that what you're doing, the reason it's so appealing is because folks look at it saying, I can do what I do, and yet take it to the next level. Because again, I don't want folks in the school get knocked out. I don't know. Right now, I heard on the TV the other day, the people are getting afraid, not just our industry. This morning, they said something about the youth football has dropped in half. The number of kids that are coming into kids football. Football for youth, not adults. Because somebody said something about concussions. My fear is that at some point, some parent is going to say something about joints or something about locks, and then all of a sudden you find yourself, where's that happy medium in between? So it hasn't happened yet, but football is talking about people are afraid to put their kids in this. It's an American sport. I know baseball is supposed to be, but football. How are we afraid to play ball? So I think there has to be that happy medium, and when I saw this, it's like we can go ahead and bang, we can go ahead and hit, but only probably one guy in 10 really wants to fight to the knockout. He wants to fight, but I don't really want to be knocked out. And we're not just getting the guys that want to do this as a profession, because you don't worry about it. I quit the job. I'm not at McDonald's no more. I'm doing this full time. Okay, that's a different dog. We're talking about the professional attorneys. We're talking about people with real jobs that have to go to work every day, but they still enjoy the combat sport. There's got to be something for them, and I think this may well be the answer.
And the one thing too about when we say about those guys who just want to be in the gym, I don't want them guys in my school. I don't want the guy in the school that want to be a real professional UFC fighter. I want the little kid who just want to do it while he's going through school and go off and become, a lawyer or a doctor. Well, I want that little kid that came up and he got his black belt and he might want to go in there. And that's the beautiful thing that we show you. How many kids, as us as school owners, how many people amongst you probably want to be a champion or want to go into movies or want to do something else? Has there ever been a path where we can show them how to brand themselves so this can truly become a career for them? We bring all that in because we are living examples of how does that kid, at one time, how did Billy Blanks go to Tyrell? How did Billy Blanks go to movies? How did Chuck Norris go there? But there's a bunch of youth amongst you that want to do something other than just be in your school teaching class. How can you enhance what they want to do at the same time come into their 9 to 5 and keep doing all that? So we're trying, once again, I'm just trying to bring for my reasons. It's funny how things work. My reasons for leaving my instructor because I wanted to be in movies and wanted to be a world champion. Now I realize that I shouldn't have ever left. It would have been a lot easier. So now how can I bring that back and so we can prevent that from happening? Questions at just a minute, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I was just curious for the curriculum part from white to black. What is the time frame that it takes to go and how many belts are there in your system?
Same. Was 4 belts at white belt? I mean, at beginning level, right? Most people have that.
Right, yeah.
4 belts at intermediate level, right? And if you have an intermediate level,
Time span from white to black.
3. It should be 3. Most people 3 months. Is it like?
Yeah,
3 months, yeah.
Same thing. The same EFC system. That's how it's set up. The same amount of time, same belt structure. We try to keep the same belt colors, all that. But you can use whatever color you want. But it is that 90-day time. Yep. The same system. 24 classes, 2 classes a week. You ain't got to recreate the wheel. I just wanted to be just what you already do, easy to implement and keep it moving.
I have one question. Do all of your students who do traditional kung fu, do they all do point MMA as well?
We do now. I mean, we could take out the ground. It's still point fighting or freestyle sparring, but I thought it would be easier because that's what everybody's seeing. And we tried to do it like point fighting this, but it became confusing. So just put it in, man. So, yeah.
Do you give that option for students who maybe are not interested in one part of the style, but they just want to come in and do the point MMA? Do you give that option?
We have a point MMA program by itself. So some people come and say, I want to do that. They can sign up for that.
I might not want to do Taekwondo, but I like the point MMA.
Yeah.
I'm very fascinated by it. I want to join that part.
Yeah, because most people come and say, yeah, man, I want the MMA thing. I really want to go. And you sense they want to fight. And when you tell them, yeah, it's not the real MMA, you can still get that energy, get that workout, but you don't have to get in the ring. It's like, yeah, that's what I want. So I ain't got to get hit, it's controlled. Oh, yeah, let's go. So, and that's small.
Control that.
Yeah, it's a small amount of people, but I think the great thing that it does, it improves my retention. That's the cool thing. Yes, sir.
I need to understand how you qualify points. So you're teaching an armbar. Are you teaching an armbar?
No, we don't teach no arm.
No joint locks.
You can't do no
joint
joint
locks,
locks.
no chokes, no hitting to the face, no
Okay.
ground and pound.
So,
It's like your traditional Taekwondo point sparring,
right?
except so it's back fist, reverse punch. You're hitting the body, you're hitting the head, you're getting points for kicks and punches.
Okay.
And then if they go to the ground, they control. So it's basically get the kid on his back or on his front, hold him down, count to 5. Everybody gets up. You get
So
up.
it's a pin.
Right.
It's a
So,
pin.
just so you'll understand, when I first went into this, my jiu-jitsu instructor was Lloyd Irvin. Okay, and I didn't did a lot of I didn't did all that with my instructor. So when we put this together, it wasn't me on the outside saying put these rules together. Those are the same amount of, you get 2 points for like a mount. That's what they do in jiu-jitsu anyway when you do jiu-jitsu competition. So we just give you 5 seconds to hold it and you gotta move. So if I got you got 5 seconds, I say move, move, move. You gotta move, 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 move. You gotta move, then you get back up. But if a guy is a great kicker and he Taekwondo, why would you want to go on the ground? That's like back in see the beauty in this? If you were a kicker, what then happened, you now grappling when you ain't a grappler. And you don't really want to grapple, you really want to punch. So this curriculum allows you, and that's what we said at the event, if you're a puncher, use your punches. Learn to defend the grappling. But if you go down, you got 5 seconds, keep it going. And we try to keep the action. Ain't no stop, move, stop. I guarantee you in 2 minutes, you think you're in shape and you call it point fighting? It's a whole new beast, yes sir.
How do you handle the takedowns? Are you doing throws or?
All the regular takedowns, judo takedowns.
Judo
The
takedowns.
same thing that the same things that AAU approves in their league, that's what point MMA is based upon. So we're not a combat sport.
And it's a
We
point
are an
fight.
AAU sport.
Points.
Points, yes sir.
So it's continuous scoring. So you have 4 judges, and they're just counting points. As
2
it
minute
goes.
rounds? What is it? 2
Two
minutes?
2 minute rounds, right? And then in range, you got to do 2 minute rounds. When you look at that DVD, you're gonna see all those guys that trick and everything. You see guys hitting people with cartwheel kicks, tornado kicks. The crowd like, oh my God, am I correct, Master Brown? We take it all and bring it together. If you're a tricker, why can't you fight with it? Come on now, that's martial arts. Billy Blank said people with cartwheel kicks. Yes, ma'am.
We usually start our sparring in green belt level, so if you were to integrate it with your program, I understand having a separate class and starting at white belt, but if you're integrating it with your program and they're a green belt, would you then go tell them to go put a white belt on? How would you?
No, I mean, you can adjust it to whatever you already have set up. That's the beauty in it. But the way we set it up, based on my instructor, we introduce people in Kung Fu to sparring when they first come in. We call it rhythm drills. So if he's in a fighting stance, we got on all the equipment. You throw 3 techniques, anything you want to throw. 1, 2, 3, then I throw 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3. So they learn that you got the equipment on just in case. See, that's my instructor. Just in case you hit, your mistake might happen. But guess what they're learning? They're learning 3 combinations. And the key is if he's doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I got 1, 2, 3, and he got to go 1,